when people listen to you, right? When you give some suggestions, idea, and people can uh, people pay attention about what you are saying. I believe that when people uh, do this kind of action, you feel important. You feel listened, and it's really good. And of course, there are people that it's easy to work with. In my case, for example, I have really good um, co-workers that I work with, and our team is like amazing. It seems that we were made to work with one another because we are so uh, like connected. We are so in the same page that it seems funny in the same time, because it's really incredible how good we get along. So for me, I can judge because people, my coworkers, my team, they are amazing. Yeah.
It's a good one because when we talk about work environment, we can talk about the facilities, the structure, like the
Yeah.
room, the computers. But it's for me, it's important, so important to talk about the relationships between the coworkers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good point. And about you, Priscilla, what do you think it's how can you describe work environments, the ideal work environment?
In my opinion, my ideal work environment may be when the people talk each other about your opinions, divide that, and a calm location. I can think about your tasks and use your creativity, yeah, and have a respect each other. Yeah, it's important. I consider these topics important. Yeah, there are others, but
Yeah,
I remember now
yeah. I
this.
totally, I totally agree with you, and because for me, it's so important to motivate it, yeah, to feel
Yes,
motivated in our workstation or work environment.
a
And about you,
comfortable.
yeah, comfortable, yeah, and motivated yourself to do a good work, yeah, it's
Yeah.
important. And about you, Bruna, what do you think about that?
Well, I don't know if I understand very well. If you want to that I talk about the my coworkers or the physical location, but it's okay. I will describe it all. So for me, I love my physical location here in my home. It's very good for me because I have a good computer to work. I'm comfortable place. I have time for to do the other things that I want, for example. And in my physical location in my job, for example, in the office, I think it's very important that it's the good computer to work because I what I do it's only I need the computer, so it's possible to do remote work. No, what else about my co-works? It's so good. The idea ideal um environment for me, for example, don't have gossip, to be a respect place, like Bruno said. What else? Don't have affair, unfair. What else? If I in the past I have a big problem about this, the boss unfair boss. That's it, maybe.
Yeah, perfect. So the question was about the work environment, but we can consider the relationships because for me it's most important than structure or the facilities. Yeah, but yeah, I totally agree with you. We need a good devices like a computer, like a smartphone, good internet, yeah, something like that. It's so important. And guys, talk about that, about the structure or the facilities. Priscilla, can you read the question number 2, please, and answer?
Yes. What factor do you consider when you choose a physical location for your work, such as a home office or co-working space? I consider a good location, physical location for to work, a calm location, and I can possibly to organize my computer, my tasks, I don't know, the materials when I use for to do work, to complete my task, for example. It's important. And have a space, don't have a sound, a hard sound, yeah, because I need keep my mind focused in my work. Yeah, it's important. Don't have a sound for difficult to me. Yeah, it's important. And yeah, but basically that I need a calm location. Yeah, in general, for to keep my mind in my tasks. Yeah, don't have preoccupation about the other things around me. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, it's depends of the person or the work, yeah. But what do you think? Do you prefer work like a home office, alone, or do you work like with another person, like the same space, the same room? What do you prefer?
I prefer home office. Yeah, I think it's a good options. For example, in my case, I can meet with my co-workers. Yeah, it's not problem because decide meetings in the specific day and decide something and separate a moment for to talking about it, or to decide or resolve a problem. Yeah, it's works for me.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for sharing with us. And about you, Bruno, what do you think? Do you prefer work like a home office or with another coworker?
Well, I need to confess that I love to work home office, because I feel more productive when I'm working from home. Of course, that when you spend so much time at home, you kind of miss your friends, from work, your coworkers, but you can talk to them if necessary through the a lot of different sources. For example, we use a team, that is it's like an app that we can use to talk with other people from work. But of course that it's really important when you are working in the office, for example, and you have you are more kind of connected, because you can, for example, if I need to talk with you, Belle, and we are in the same space, I just can go there, stand up and go there and solve the problem, compared to sometimes you are doing something, and if I call you, maybe you are not available in that moment, and you will talk to me later. And in the office, we have these advantages, but in the same time, for example, if you are busy at that moment and I arrive in your table by your side, maybe you will be ashamed to tell me that you are not available in that moment. So it's advantages and disadvantages about to work in the office. Yeah. And of course there is the commute to work and to back to home. So for me, it's terrible. It's the one of the terrible things about work in the office, you know, because you need to take the bus and go to work, and for me, it's terrible.
I totally agree with you. It's depend of the work, of course, yeah. When you work
Yeah.
like with creative things or service like that, it's so important to be in the presential way, yeah. And sometimes it's so hard to use the computer and just talk with using the email or message. It's hard, yeah. For example, for me, guys, it's so important to be in the presential way because we use a lot of device, and it's so important for me, for example, like a supervisor, I need to realize about the emotional or yeah, cognitive states about my coworkers. Yeah. And sometimes it's so hard when we are in the virtual way, like here. Oh, I don't know if Bruno is okay. Maybe it's appear okay, uh, but it's not so good like in the emotional way. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something like that. It's a sensitive situation, and for me, it's so important because my work requires me that. Yeah, but in there are another works like the just use a computer. It's not a problem. Yeah, because you can be a more productive person alone and to be a real concentration in the work and resolve and solve the problem. Yeah, but depends. Nowadays, I prefer to work like with another person, but sometimes it's so hard to. Yeah. And what do you think about that, Bruna? Do you prefer work like a home office, like in the remote way, or with another person? What do you think?
Well, I have never work in the specific co-work space, only in home office here in my house. And I prefer the hybrid. Uh, it's better for me. Like Bruno said, I think when you go at the office, I think it's so good because you have interaction with the other. If it's for me, it's a good advantage. What else? But I think it's more comfortable here in my house because I it's possible I do other things that I want in my house, laundry to do laundry, to make a cookie. It's better for me. But like Priscilla said too, I think it's necessary a calm place. But I have two sons, like I said, but they are older today. It's possible they respect my time, my space. It's okay for me, and I think it's the combined the presence in the personal and the home office. It's so good.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's depends of the situation. Yeah, it's so important in my opinion, guys. I don't know if you have the same point of view, but when you work like at home, normally I don't work like a home office, but it's so important to create or building boundaries. Yeah, about your task and your family or your personal life. Yeah, but I think that's possible, but it's possible when you are organization or organized person. Yeah. And I think it's better work like home. But for me, like I said before, it's not possible. And because of that, I will answer the question number 4. The question is what tools or techniques are essential for your work and how do they influence your work environment? So for me, like I said, I work like an air traffic controller. So I'm staying in the room and I have one big screen. It's like a big computer and I use a microphone. It's like a radio telephony. So it's not possible can see the pilots in the sky, but I talk with the pilots. Yeah, use the microphone. So it's so important the room are silent. Yeah, it's like quiet, and because I need to pay attention all the time. And it's really important listen very well with the pilot. Yeah. So we need to use the radar like in the computer and the radio telephony. So for me, it's essential. Yeah. And we use the telephone, mobile, yeah, all the time to talk with another place. So for me, it's essential. Without any technology or device like that, it's not possible to do my work. So, and about you, Bruno, what do you use? Just a computer, or do you use a mobile phone? Do you use any different device for your work?
Yeah, we have a different kind of device to appliances, I don't know, facilities, yeah, that we can use to make the work happens, you know. For example, we need to have a good internet, you know. It's really essential uh, to the job to be done, you know. And a laptop, of course. What else? We need to have a good system, you know, because we need to provide to the client, to the customers, you know, update reports daily, you know, and to check if we are doing a great job or not, you know, because we have the numbers to compare um, with today, for example, or with another period of time, you know. For example, if I need to compare the numbers uh, from now to the numbers in the past, for example, in the same average of time, I need to a good system, and that system needs to provide me reports that I need to show how good the numbers are or not, you know. So it's really important. And what else? Yeah, I think, and the other things we need to have is the, you know, it's essential. For example, comfortable share to work, because we will be there for 8 hours, you know, or more, depending of the situation of the work, you know. And yeah, mobile phone, you know, apps to have conversations and make make meetings, you know, with clients, with people from work, and suppliers, you know. So basically that's it, you know.
Yeah, I do talk about one point. It's so important. It's a system. You said
Yeah,
something like a system. It's so important because when I need to resolve some problem with another with a company, it's so hard when the system is unavailable and you need to call again or you need to try in another hour, and it's so bad, yeah, because you need to work and the system is not provide that for you. It's so hard, yeah.
yeah,
So
exactly.
nowadays, I don't know if you agree with me, but we depend on a lot of technology. If we don't have a technology, it's so hard to do something. Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
think about that, Priscilla? Do you have the same point of view?
Yes, the what I said about the technology, it's in my case, I use all the time. I work with this, and I use it all the time. My laptop and mobile phone. I use different tools to communication. Depends of the project. Sometimes I can use Teams. Sometimes I cannot because the project don't use the same technology. I need use different platform for to talking about. Yeah. I use tools for to organize, to manage my my task, for example. Yeah, because I work like methodology. Oh my God, I forgot. Methodologias ágeis. Yeah, because that I need tools for to organize tasks and to follow. Let me see. I use different language, program language. Yeah, because I need I need to resolve problem, create something, what else? Or many tools.
Yeah, I know.
Many tools, yeah. I need all the time use technology because I work with these and I use all the time.
Yeah.
I like that. It's fantastic when I need to resolve something or you need talking about the other people. You only need to stay in the specific location, a good internet, and you can talking about and resolve problem. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's like the remote way, yeah, because
Yes.
I have the same capability, so it's a good way. But I think it's so important to have a backup system, yeah.
Yes, so important. Yeah.
And thank you for sharing with us, Priscilla. And what do you think about that, Bruna? Do you use a lot of device for work?
No, I think it's not necessary a lot of advice. Only the laptop and a good internet, of course. Nowadays, only you said about everyone need technology, but when in the past when I was physiotherapist, so it's not necessary that big technology,
Really?
no.
It's
But it's
another
possible
person.
to work a remote form, so it's terrible.
Perfect.
And nowadays, when I work in administration area, it is so good. That's it. But only the computer for me, it's so good. The service, the platform, in the my office, I need to use. But if you have only the laptop and the internet, it's okay for me. I like too much to use two screen because it help me to when I need to use the Excel, for example, and I need to combine the different screens. So it helped me. But if you only the computer, it's so good.
Work too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing. But for me nowadays, it's essential. Essential. Yeah. I need to work with technology, but and sometimes it's hard to think about another work with you don't need to use the technology. Yeah. But there are a lot of yeah. So and guys, I will talk about it. It's a specific point and the question number 8. Bruna, can you read the question and answer for us, please? The question number 8.
How does effective communication play a role in shaping and maintaining a healthy organization climate? I think a good communication, effective communication, it's so good in all time in your life, and special in the work, in the job, of course. Let me see more here. Um, because if you have a problem with your coworkers, for example, you need to when you do a feedback, for example, and you explain more about this. I think your communication is clear. It's so good. You solve many problems if you have a good conversation in your work, and your home. In my home, for example, is true. You need it to be a good conversation for everyone. In my work, I I used to I used to confirm how to say this. Confirm, change, no, confirmar. If you understand, when
Yeah.
I
It's
ask
like a
some,
readback. Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe.
maybe a feedback about that I said. For example, when I ask something for my colleague, for example, do you understand me? What do you understand? What is necessary to do in this task, for example? Because in this moment, you realize if the other person understands you very well.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that I use the same technique like you in the aviation. We can, the name is a readback. It's when you talk something and the another person needs to say the same thing, yeah, what you said. And you can compare about the instruction. And it's okay, that's it. It's a perfect, and because, why I put the questions here, guys? Because I think that a lot of problems are resolved when you have a good communication. Or you can avoid some problems using a good communication, yeah? What do you think about that, Priscilla?
Yes, I totally agree with you. It's very important to have a good communication, clear communication, because my kids, for example, I need all the time to speak, to talk with each other for, I did resolve that. It's possible. Oh, no possible. Okay, I try other things, and I return with you for to decide the other technicals for to finish these tasks. For example, I need all the time have a effective communication with my colleagues, because if don't create this climate in the environment, it's not possible to realize, for example, a good tasks. Yeah, in the future, it's maybe no, it's a problem. Yeah,
Problem.
because
Yeah.
that I prefer to oh my God, prevention, prevenção, prevenir, to
Avoid, maybe,
avoid
like that.
because in the future it's possible have a problem, a big problem.
Yeah,
Vira uma
totally
bola
with
de
you.
neve.
Yeah, I have the same point of view.
Yeah.
And what do you think about that, Bruno?
Um, in my opinion, I think that it's the question. First of all, the question is really good. By the way, congrats. And I think that it's a really good point to bring up, because it's essential to have a good communication in order to avoid some problems, some issues that come with this kind of situation. For example, at my work, we work a lot with emails. We send emails to one another all the time, to customers, to intern customers, let's say like this, because people that work with us, they are our clients as well, right? And one of the things that I always say to my coworkers is that when you receive a message for the customer or for someone that works with us here in the company, we need to read the email, the message. And if the message is if someone wrote the message in a way to affect you in a bad way, you need to take care of this. You need to be aware, and you need to be professional in order to respond this message in a good way, because sometimes your feelings are so how can I say it? You are so I don't know how can I say it, but you are so driving by your feelings, by the emotion, that you will respond this email like in a bad way, putting all your your heart in that, but not in a good way, right? So it's really important to stop. I usually say to my friends at work that they need to count from 0 to 10 in order to breathe in and and breathe out, to not respond something bad that can be something, can cause some issues, not just for the company but for everyone involved in that situation. So it's essential to have this in mind in order to make the environment good, And if it's something related with someone that you work with, if you receive a message and you don't understand, or you maybe the way that the person wrote the email is not so clear, you can take the phone, and talk about it, or maybe you can go in that place to talk with the person, but it's essential to be professional and be, take care of some situations like this to not cause any harm for you, as a professional. That's it.
Yeah, you answered the last question because I was very curious about that. And the last question talked about that. How do you strike a balance between personalization and professionalism in the work environment? Yeah. And that question is really important to me because yeah, it's sometimes it's so hard to split that because it's my success life involves my success in my professional life. So and sometimes we can need to split that, yeah, and recognize that my life, my personal life, is so important than my professional life. And it's so hard to split that, to split that. For I want to cover that, and I think that the first step is recognize I want, what I like to do in my free time. Yeah, I don't know, but for me it's the good way to do that. But it's nowadays it's a challenge, and I will try to achieve that. Um, yeah, that's how we can. Yeah, that's. No, I don't. So, what do you think about that, Priscilla? What do you think it's important to do or recognize about your professional life, personal life, and professional life?
So to keep a balance about that, it's sometimes not easy, but it's important to try, and it's so hard, yeah. But it's important to try that. Organize your mind for to don't influence about your professionalism in your work, yeah. Because if your personal life influence that, maybe to have a problem or other things, yeah. And it's important to learn about yourself, yeah, for to have a, oh my god, have a force, yeah, for to keep this, yeah, because sometimes it's not easy, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I have the same point of view. Maybe it's a challenge for all the persons. Yeah,
To
because
control.
yeah, to control, to achieve the balance between that. Because nowadays we just work, we just live to work. And yeah, it's my case. I don't know if someone uh, found another way to live, but for me it's a challenge. And I want to found a way to live my life and work because I love my work. Like split that, yeah. What do you think about that, Luna? Do you have that problem or just me?
I don't have a big problem about this because I avoid to take something about my personal life for my job. I avoid, but sometimes it's impossible. No, and I think I'm one person, so it's difficult to separate, to split. Oh, now I'm only work, I'm talking about only talk about my job, and when I come to my home, I mean don't have a problem, don't bring a problem for my job, to my job, but I bring more than my problem, than my job, don't then the take for my personal job, my personal life, for my job. I avoid too much because I don't know, I don't want to share my life of my co-work. I prefer.
Yeah, perfect. It's my it's not a deadline, but it's my goal. Yeah, it's my life to do that, basically that. And so, guys, the time is over. I'm so sorry about my delay at the meeting. Yeah, at
No
the
problem.
beginner. And I put
No
here
problem.
the link for survey. Please send me some feedback. And thank you for the conversation. I love it. And have a nice Friday. Yeah, nice Friday and weekend. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.